Kansas State at the buzzer as the Cards went on to win that national championship. All right, here we go. Here's one of the newcomers, Sky Clark with the ball up front. You see Mike James, J.J. Traynor. We have Curtis Williams and Dennis Evans, the 7'1 freshman, with the quick turnover to get us started. Here are the Simmons starters. Gavin Withrow with the ball right there, number 3. A lot of local guys. Trey Radcliffe, Meath Reclo, Franklin Sampson, and Philip Richards Jr.
And Kent, they play in the National Christian Collegiate Athletic Association. Think NAIA, but just a little step down. These guys are good shooters, and they're athletes. They're just not as big and strong as NCAA guys or NAIA-type guys.
2 possessions, 2 turnovers for the Cards. Simmons was 14-13 last season, 9-3 in the NCAA, but finished up the year ranked.
Louisville with an interesting lineup. Everybody was kind of guessing and thinking, and Trey White has been the guy as Meath Reclo get the three-pointer to go here for Simmons College. Everybody was thinking Trey White is the best player on this team or has been the best player on this team. He's not in the lineup tonight as we see the starting lineup.
Sky Clark, the transfer from Illinois. Curtis Williams, the freshman from Detroit. Mike James, who, of course, played last season and was the Cards' second leading scorer behind only L. Ellis. And then J.J. Traynor from Bardstown, Kentucky. And Dennis Evans, the 7'1 senior who affects, the 7'1 center who affects the game, Jody.
He does in a number of different ways, and you don't even have to go, he doesn't have to block shots. Just his presence and his length affects game.
Clark with the miss there. You see Evans with the offensive rebound, tries to kick it back out, but a third turnover for the Cards to start this one off. Evans with a 9'8 reach and a 7'7 wingspan. Very impressive. 7'7. Look at that, Jody.
That is a wild picture right there.
He had a California State record 16 blocks in one game in high school. Withrow sheds the defender, misses the 3. 3-0 Simmons here in the early going. Cards would do well just to get a shot off after all those turnovers. The pass at Evans! The Dennis dunk, Jody, to get us started.
I like Dennis. He does so much. He's going to have to grow. He's going to have to get better on the offensive end. He affects it on the defensive end. That's one thing he can do is finish. He can finish around the rim because he's not too far from the rim when he finishes.
He had 5 dunks in their red-white scrimmage last week and gets us started with one here. 3-2 Simmons in the early going. Withrow by Clark. Gets in the lane. Dishes it on the baseline. The jumper is missed by Richards, and the offensive rebound. I think we're going to get a foul on Traynor here. Let's look at the replay of that dunk, Jody.
Great job by Williams getting the ball, going to the baseline, and then finding Evans coming down the lane. These guys are learning. The guys that are the guards on this team are learning. You just get Dennis the ball somewhere around the basket, and he is a menace to that goal.
Foul number 1 on the Cards. That was on J.J. Traynor. Withrow, guarded by Clark. Gets in the corner again. Sampson for 3, can't get it. Evans with the rebound. And the Cards with a chance to take their first lead, and I think we're going to get a foul on Withrow as Sky Clark went right at him. Ted Valentine. Let's mention the officials real quick, because Ted Valentine here for the first exhibition game of the season, along with Trey Styons and Claire Aubrey.
Foul on Withrow there, and he is their best player. Withrow. Last year, the newcomer of the year in the NCAA Mideast Regional. He is from Mayo High School.
Averaged 12 points last season, 23 starts, and out ahead of everybody is Franklin Sampson for the easy 2 and a 5-2 Simmons lead, and not exactly, you have to think, what Kenny Payne wanted to see in the early going, Joey.
No, not a very good start for the Cardinals, as too many turnovers here early on.
Mike James improved his three-point shooting in the offseason. Hit 4 or 5 the other night in the red-white scrimmage. He goes to the basket and has it pinned on the board. And we're going to get a foul call, but Philip Richards Jr. feels like he got that clean.
I think he got the ball clean, but when they came, let's watch, because Claire Aubrey made that call, and she said something about lower body. We see this. This is the steal here in the down the field, down the floor for Franklin Sampson for the easy bucket. Again, one of 4 Cardinal turnovers here early on.
Foul number 1 on Richards. Cards with the ball on the baseline. Curtis Williams from Brother Rice High School in Detroit. He can shoot it, and he's got a quick release, Jody.
I really like him. Of the freshmen, obviously Dennis Evans can affect the game, but of the freshmen, Curtis Williams is the most versatile guy. I think is probably the freshman that people are going to be like, didn't realize he was that good. He can do a little bit of everything. He's been playing a little point guard for this team.
Are you surprised as Evans gets his hands on the ball in the lane and then Richards knocks it out of bounds? It'll be Louisville ball, so Evans forcing a turnover there. Are you surprised that Trey White wasn't in the starting lineup? Because he looked the best in the red-white scrimmage, and he's the guy who we've heard the most hype about.
No, I really am. He and Brandon Huntley-Hatfield as well. But Kenny Payne saying yesterday that it was how guys were practicing. That's how he was going to reward them for the 2 exhibition games tonight, and then on October 30th against Kentucky Wesleyan, he's going to reward them by their effort.
When he also said that he hasn't played in practice, which was interesting. Sky Clark, who we see missing the 3, Trainer, the offensive rebound, and a dunk to give the Cards a 6-5 lead. They're up for the first time tonight, but he also said he hasn't played Sky Clark and Trey White together in practice, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see after the timeout. I would imagine they go a whole total different 5. That's kind of what they've been doing in practice, and I would think, and looking at the bench over there, looks like some of the guys are getting ready to come in, all 5 of them.
Evans with the deflection again. Here comes Williams on the break.
And see, he can do a lot of different things, Kent, and that's what Curtis Williams is so good at, the versatility. That guy going to the bucket. Played for Louisville. He was 7-1.
And really, of that list, Anis Mahmoud really the only shot blocker of those guys. Felt not really a shot blocker. And he is obviously their best shot blocker since Anis Mahmoud, because in the last few years, the Cards have not blocked a lot of shots. And he just affects the game so much as we see Curtis Williams at the line. And real quick, let's catch up on the new Cards in the game.
Well, first of all, I'm a big Curtis Williams fan, if you can't tell already. He has really kind of changed things here. 4 points and a rebound for him early on. And he goes out. It's now Tyler Johnson, Karan Davis, Trey White, Brandon Huntley-Hatfield, and Emmanuel Okorafor.
And I think Emmanuel Okorafor is a guy, we just got a taste of what he can do last season, and I feel like he's much improved. Donquel Andrews, by the way, with a missed shot for Simmons. But I feel like Okorafor, in the red-white scrimmage, we didn't even see all he could do because he was going up against Evans, and it's tough to score over him. But he is much improved. He's active, and he affects the game much like Evans does.
Yes, he does. He actually, remember, he came last year to Louisville in late January and ended up here. Actually had some bright moments.
Here's Trey White, the pass in the corner to Davis, who can shoot it. Fumbles it a little bit, though, and another turnover for the Cards. Davis is an interesting recruit because we don't know a whole lot about him other than the fact he's originally from Gary, Indiana, and Dana Evans' dad was his first basketball coach. He's good friends with that family.
Yeah, you don't know a whole lot about him. Went to Los Angeles Southwest Community College. They didn't play a great level of competition, so he's really intriguing. One guy we do know a whole lot about is Tyler Johnson, who affecting that is Brandon Huntley-Hatfield.
Huntley-Hatfield with the steal. Davis the lob to Okorafor, who comes down with it. Back to here's Trey White. White in the lane loses it to a cutting Huntley-Hatfield. And I'll tell you what, though, that was about as aggressively as I've seen him go to the basket. Couldn't finish, but maybe a positive sign nonetheless. Okorafor with the rebound for the Cards as they now lead at 8-5 on a 6-0 run.
Karan Davis steps
out of bounds. Another turnover for Davis.
That looks like that's been the problem with Karan Davis, is just getting under control as we see the move there from Huntley-Hatfield's got to finish that, but I like the move. Look, I think Brandon Huntley-Hatfield, of all the guys on this Louisville team this season, the way this season goes, I think a lot of it says about Huntley-Hatfield because he's the biggest he's got to be more consistent than what he was last year.
Steal by Johnson. Here's White going to work. He gets to the basket. He is fouled. That foul, I think, is going to be on number 32, Brandon Austin. And we're going to get to look at Trey White, Jody, who I think this is the guy who's maybe the most exciting.
Yeah, I mean, he's the best player on the team, in my opinion. I watched a lot of USC games last year. He plays a lot bigger than what he really is. They list him at 6'7", but he plays so much bigger than that. He's so versatile, can do so many different things. Love his game, love his attitude, love his effort, and I think Trey White is he's going to end up being a huge fan favorite for Louisville fans.
Originally from Dallas, Texas, a 2012 Pac-12 all-freshman team member, averaged 9 points, 5.1 rebounds, and an assist. Started 29 of 33 games last year for the Trojans, and career high 22 points against Washington. USC, by the way, 22 and 11 last season, and did make the NCAA tournament. So that's kind of a common denominator of these transfers. Their teams did make the NCAA tournament last season, in a year when the Cards certainly struggled. Trey White actually played in that NCAA tournament game for USC last spring. Danilo Jovinovic, by the way, we will not see him tonight. He is in concussion protocol, so another one of the transfers from Miami after they went to the Final Four, and you see White right away forcing the turnover.
And Zan Payne, we also won't see. Kenny Payne's son, the walk-on, is out with a shoulder injury, so the two guys we will not see tonight. They're calling DJ, by the way, to make that a little easier for you.
By the way, White had 4 points in 19 minutes of action against Michigan State last year in the first round of the NCAA tournament, a 10-point loss for the Trojans. And I tell you what, that just having NCAA experience, and he's the guy who's the leader in practice, kind of barking out orders. We saw that a little bit today.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. Like I said, he is a really good player, and as Cron Davis gets a shot up, Okorafor trying to battle for the rebound.
Nice box out by Brandon Austin. And
Austin from Hopkinsville, Kentucky. A lot of these guys from the state of Kentucky or this area on Simmons College.
DeAndre Williams over to Austin. That is an air ball, and the rebound for Huntley Hatfield. And the long look for Okorafor running the floor. White thought about the three, Jody, and then
yeah, I mean, he can shoot it at the three level. He's so much better getting to the basket or trying to get the basket like that, and he's got a great pull-up game as the Louisville Cardinals have a 12-5.
Historically black college and university, but the first here in Kentucky. See, less than 2 miles from U of L, and this is their 9th season of basketball. They created that athletic department in 2015. Jerry Eves, the former Card, was their first basketball coach for the men's team and is now the athletic director. They have golf, men's and women's basketball, and volleyball, and a three-point try from the top of the key there for Calvin Wilder is good, and that snaps that 10-0 run right out of the timeout.
Yeah, Wilder, a senior from Charleston, West Virginia, averaged about 3.5 points during his career, but that's one thing he can do is shoot the three.
They have gone 4 minutes without a single point. Same five we saw who got the Cards on that run. Okorafor trying to post up inside. He's going to get called for the offensive foul. He had 5'11" DeAndre Williams on him, and
yeah, I think that was a product of he was just so much bigger that the other Williams couldn't handle him and fell down. So kind of a tough luck there for Okorafor, because I thought he actually posted up pretty good.
Williams, like Withrow, a male bulldog from right here in Louisville. Here's Franklin Sampson guarded by White. We're going to get a moving screen on Brandon Austin, as Ted Valentine saw, and the Cards will get the ball back. 12-8 here, 12:35 to go. I think what Louisville fans wanted to see was what they've seen out of this second unit. These guys have...
And again, you look, Louisville's turned the ball over 7 times already. That's not what you wanted to see. 3 in the first 3 possessions of the game, so they've settled down a little bit. And I'll be interested to see if he continues to rotate these guys 5 in and 5 out for the segments. He might end up doing that the entire night.
Trey White spins and loses it in the lane, making 8 turnovers for the Cards here in the early going. A turnover a minute is not a good stat.
No, it's not against anybody, especially when you're bigger, faster, and stronger than in every position than at Simmons College. And again, this is a game that you want to see Louisville. To me, it's about pace of play, getting up and getting down the floor. It's not about who you're playing or how many you end up winning this game about. It's about the eye test, the look test. And so far, it hasn't been great for Louisville because of the turnovers.
Tyler Johnson will dial up the three off the back of the rim. Huntley Hatfield almost got up for night.
Time is out on the floor.
Cards up 12-8. After actually, he was a starting point guard late in the '79 season. Then Jerry Hughes came in and took his spot as a sophomore that year for that national championship team. Jerry sprained his ankle part of the way through the year. Tony had to fill in, and of course, as I mentioned already, hit that monster shot to beat Kansas State in the NCAA tournament. I can still see him, Jody, splitting that double team, and the ball bounces up on the rim and goes down to ignite that run with Darrell Griffith sitting on the bench. Couldn't do anything about it. Tony Branch saved the Cards that day.
Yeah, co-captain on that team with Griff. And again, we had a chance to talk to him, and he was just over the moon for this opportunity for his guys. And Tony just over the moon for what these guys are going to get on his team. As Caleb Glenn misses the free throw. And this is an experience for these guys of a lifetime.
Another mass substitution for the Cards. Caleb Glenn, you saw him for the first time. Former Louisville male player in the game, along with this group with Sky Clark, Curtis Williams, Dennis Evans, and Mike James.
And that's a turnover. There's a freshman move right there that is unbelievable. They talked about that. They worked on that at shoot-around today for about 15 minutes. And Nolan Smith kept saying, when your guy passes it in the post, get your butt to the baseline and then try to dig. And that's exactly what Williams did, is his hand got over on the ball and created that turnover.
We still look at that Cards coaching staff. Danny Manning, Nolan Smith, Josh Jamison, Gabe Snyder, the newcomer. Milt Wagner also coaching. You can go on the floor in practice this year. Sky Clark all the way to the basket but can't finish. Evans almost got the rebound, and then it's actually knocked out of bounds by Richards Jr. there on the baseline. It'll be Cards ball. 20 seconds on the shot clock.
And Kent, this is another opportunity for Louisville, and they can't finish right now. The Cards just cannot finish around the rim. 4 of 11. We need to see a couple more Dennis dunks here to get this thing going.
Maybe a Mike James or Curtis Williams three. As Williams takes the body blow and then throws it away, and we're going to get a foul on Caleb Glenn. That's deflection there by Meath Reclo. And then he draws the foul on Caleb Glenn. Caleb Glenn, he's going to improve a ton over the course of the next couple of years. But what he does, Jody, is he plays hard. And that's what's going to get him some minutes here as a freshman.
Yeah, he's physically ready to play the game. He's just got a little to come on the skill set to be a good collegiate basketball player. He's going to be fine. He's going to contribute this year, but his better years are down the road when we get into regular season games.
Improved a ton during his career at Mayo. When he was here for the first 3 years, started as a freshman, hit that huge shot in the 7th region championship game to beat Ballard and send the Bulldogs to the Sweet 16 a couple years ago. Here's Mike James. Caught for a travel as he skipped it across to Sky Clark. And
that's the 10th turnover. I'm not sure.
It sure looks like the first exhibition game.
Yes, it does. I'm not sure that one was really a walk, but it was called, so you got to do it. That's the 10th turnover for the Cards. Luckily, they're playing a team that can't convert off those turnovers. 10 turnovers, and Simmons only has 5 points off of the turnovers.
40 turnovers, though, is not going to be a good stat at the end of this game if they keep up this current pace. Three-pointer there by Trey Radcliffe from the top of the key, and this group has just not gelled. Even I know that they made the one change, putting Caleb Glenn in, but.
And honestly, the thing about it is, in shoot-around today, this is the group that did look the best to me. Dennis Evans, a little hook that he gets fouled on there. P.J. Richards Jr. We'll see the replay. See Kenny Payne in his defensive stance, and Radcliffe with the shots. Radcliffe played his high school ball. He's a senior, played at Franklin Simpson, actually lived in Knoxville for a little. He's actually born here in Louisville, so many of these guys on this team either went to high school in Louisville or natives of the city of Louisville.
That was the second foul, by the way. Not a lot of size on this Simmons team. That was the second foul on Philip Richards Jr., their 6'9" center, who has definitely made an impact here. And He'll come out of the game. Brandon Austin in for him. Let's talk a little more about Dennis Evans, the 7'1" freshman from Riverside, California. Last season, you see it, 14.7, 10.6 rebounds, and 5.9 blocks as well. 563 career blocks for him. He was a 74% free throw shooter. He's going to get another chance here. And as I mentioned, that state record, 16 blocks in one game. And Jody, intriguing also, a 33% three-point shooter.
I don't think we'll see him shooting many three-pointers during his college career, but he doesn't have a terrible shot from the free throw line. You mentioned 74% for his career, right around 70% of his high school career. And for a big guy like that, you don't see that very often.
Withrow back in the game. Pass it over, and Stephen Melton with the missed triple. There you go.
That's what Sky Clark has got to do.
Jody.
Well, that's what Sky Clark has got to do. Sky Clark has got to be the guy that sets the table for this Louisville team. He's got to get some things going. Don't turn the ball over. To get the ball to your big man and get it done.
Reclo misses the three off the side of the rim, out of bounds. Cards on the ball. 15-10 here, 9:09 to go, and I think we're going to see quite a bit of this. Sky Clark to Dennis Evans for the throwdown.
Well, and Dennis Evans is a guy that is going to get better each and every single game. His body, I think, hopefully will get bigger, like he'll get stronger as the season goes on. He's going to get beat around a little bit once we get into the ACC play, but he's a guy that every time out is going to get better.
Well, you know, a lot of seven, he keeps it high, and he knows what to do with it, though. As we see an aggressive take by Caleb Glenn, but unable to finish.
I don't mind that from Caleb Glenn. You try to take it to the basket. But again, you just have to finish if you're Louisville. Just 5 of 13 now from the field.
We're going to see a lot of this, putting Dennis Evans in pick and rolls. He does a pretty good job there, but ends up with a wide open three by Reclo. He can't hit. Williams with the rebound. Sky Clark all the way to the basket, draws the foul, and he'll get 2 free throws and a chance to extend what is a 5-point lead, and then we'll have another mass substitution. It looks like we're going to get 5 new cards in, maybe 4 new cards in at the next whistle. That was foul number 2 on Meath Reclo.
At the line for the cards, number 55, Clark. He'll shoot 2.
Yeah, we're going to get 5 new cards. As it's going to be White and Tyler Johnson, J.J. Traynor, and Huntley Hatfield along with Hersey Miller. We'll see Hersey for the first time.
This group comes in now with a 6-point lead, and they're the ones who actually looked better in their first stint as well. Sky Clark, a sophomore from L.A., had a couple different high schools. He went to Illinois. Enjoys fishing, boxing, and interior design. And why he wears number 55? Well, for white chocolate, Jason Williams.
Sky Clark at Illinois last season will shoulder the burden of being the point guard on this team.
Goodness, Calvin Wilder met with little resistance on his way to the rim there to cut the lead to 4.
First time Trey White, and as the Cards turn it over again here.
That deflection and steal is by Marlo McSwain, and he misses the shot, the son of Mark McSwain, who was on that 1986 U of L National Championship team. With his huge hands, he's watching in Belgium.
McSwain with another steal
for McSwain. The pass to Austin, and the block, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2 free throws to try and get the Falcons.
For the year, be shocked if he's not Kyle Filipowski. I mean, there's some good players in the ACC. We have not seen good play tonight so far. I think what Louisville fans wanted to see and what Kenny Payne was hoping for to come out and actually these guys give a good first impression, and it's not been good. 12 turnovers and 5 of 13 from the field against the Simmons College team that you should really handle pretty easy.
Brandon Austin, 2 missed free throws for the freshman from Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Tyler Johnson, Trey White, Brandon Huntley Hatfield, Hersey Miller, and J.J. Traynor on the court for the Cards. They go inside to Huntley Hatfield. He gets good position and draws the foul, and will get 2 free throws out of it.
And you know, Kent, one thing that I'm watching is more than anything is guard on the play on the perimeter. I mean, look, Brandon Huntley Hatfield, Dennis Evans, J.J. Traynor, they might look like All-Americans tonight. This is against a Simmons College team that they totally outman. I know, I'm talking, we've got a long way to go. I want to see it start from the guard standpoint. I want to see Tyler start to do what Sky kind of did, and that's get the ball at the rim to the guys who can finish.
Brandon Huntley Hatfield started 21 games last season, 6.7 points, 5.4 rebounds. That was tops on the team. His Mott's fruit snack.
Oh, he's I'm a fan. He is too. He's a big fan of that.
A good late night snack. Free throws make it 18-12. With throw the pass inside. Traynor might have got a piece of that as McSwain tried to score in the lane, and here comes Hersey Miller.
A good idea by Tyler Johnson, just a terrible pass, and another turnover for Louisville, now number 13.
An aggressive lob, Withrow shot misses, and Traynor able to get the rebound.
Louisville, no field goes in almost 3 minutes for the Cards.
It's like that first group didn't look that great initially. Then the second group came on, they played better. Then the first group played better, and now this group's kind of regressed a little bit.
Well, and you've had a different player. Each group has been
changed
a little
one
different.
Spot, yeah. White looking to score in the lane. He gets it up off the glass, and he'll get 2 shots.
It's interesting, and I'll be interested to hear Coach Payne's kind of thought process of keeping the guys how they are in groups and not maybe playing the best players together. I know it's an exhibition, but I would think you'd want to kind of get it together and kind of start gelling, and they haven't been able to do that just yet.
Interesting comment. He said he wanted to see who could make everyone else better and see if Trey White could play with guys who maybe weren't as good as the guys on the other 5 and make them better. As we see Ron Davis checks in for Hersey Miller. We're going to get a
30-second timeout for Tony Branch over there. Head coach, or was an assistant coach with Jerry Eves.
Started this program back up 9 years ago as we see Trey White to the line for his second free throw. Got it. And Louisville has extended this lead to 8. Let's see if they can get a little bit of distance here. Most of the fans here ready to stand up and cheer. They kind of expecting to come out here and see a blowout tonight, but they've seen a lot of turnovers. McSwain with the miss, but Austin with the follow and the foul, and he'll get a chance to complete a 3-point play and get the Falcons back within 5.
Yeah, and Karan Davis with it, not having a great night in just 5 minutes. 2 turnovers, 0 for 1 from the field, and now a foul, and Trey White not getting a body on Austin there.
And Davis a little bit too behind him. For that defensive rebound. Kevin Bland checks in. Gavin Withrow will go to the bench for Tony Branch and Simmons.
Bland, a freshman, averaged about 15 points last year at Wagner High School. One of the leading scorers in the local 7th region last season. So really high-scoring kind of guard.
Brandon Austin completes the 3-point play. Tell me about Tyler Johnson, because he actually just became eligible a couple weeks ago.
He did, and he's going to be, look, he has been at Louisville, wasn't eligible, as you see the move there. Tyler is a guy who's going to, again, get better and better. Was a late addition to this team. He come from Brooklyn, Our Savior Lutheran. He averaged about 19 points a game last season, and really is a guy that can do a lot with the ball in his hand, not just shoot, but he is a guy that's going to create. He's the guy that, he and Sky Clark will handle the duties out there at point guard.
The 2022 New Jersey Prep Player of the Year, and one of two guys on the roster who said they wanted to wear number 2, but of course retired for Russ Smith. So he multiplied it by 2 to get to his 4. He says this is his best fit in his dream school. Tyler Johnson, who they really needed. They had Curtis Williams playing backup point guard before he became eligible.
Yeah, they didn't know for a while for sure. They thought he was going to be eligible, but it was a really, really long, drawn-out process, and it wasn't until just about within the last month or so that they found out.
Seven on the shot clock. Simmons needs to get something up to get in the lane, and boy, they got a really easy one, but Wilder unable to finish right at the basket. Davis with a horrible shot. Almost another turnover for the Cards. We're finally it looks like we might get a single substitution here for the first time tonight. Jody, Sky Clark up off the U of L bench as we're just under 5 minutes to play. Louisville with a 22-15 uninspiring lead over the Simmons College Falcons. Johnson pushes it to Davis inside to Huntley Hatfield posting up, and Trainer will get a pretty good look at a 3. Rattles off with White there to follow it in.
And Trey White doing a little coaching as well there as he's telling Huntley Hatfield, hey, I was open there. Good pass to Trainer. He was open, but Trey White also open there. Trey White is a guy, you're going to see that. He can put the ball. He can score off the bounce. He can shoot the ball. He's going to be very active in there.
This is the Cards' largest lead of the game, and White with a rebound as they push it up and try to extend that lead. But he took the hit and finishes.
And that's what he does. He's going to be the most talented player on this team for Louisville. He's got 8 points tonight. He's 3 for 3, 10 points. He's 3 for 3 from the field, and also 4 free throws. As Trey White, it's been the Trey White show here in recent minutes as the Cardinals have.
Louisville has extended its lead to 11 points, 26-15 over Simmons College. Coming up at halftime, we'll talk about Sky Clark. How does he get away from basketball, Jody?
Lego building. I like building Legos. You'll see it. It's a great piece. It's cool to get to learn more about Sky, the guy, Sky Clark, instead of the basketball player behind the scenes. Look, he's going to be a fun kid to watch this season and see how he develops and grows, with this team. By the way, developing and grow, we want to see steps each one. That was Louisville's best segment of basketball so far. Now we change it back up, and we get another team back out here. All 5 new guys out there, but Louisville just 1 turnover, 2 of 4 from the field, and they drew 7 fouls during that period.
Yeah, good news. No longer on pace to turn it over 40 times tonight as Caleb Glenn misses in the lane, and then Calvin Wilder was out of bounds as he tried to retrieve it. The 5 on the floor right now for the Cards. We have Sky Clark, Mike James, Curtis Williams, Caleb Glenn, and Emmanuel Okorafor. Haven't seen much out of Okorafor yet.
No, we haven't. We've seen a lot out of Curtis Williams, and there's another one from Curtis again. He can shoot it. Such a quick release when he gets it. Doesn't take much time. He's very confident with it, and Curtis Williams getting a 3-pointer there tonight for Louisville's first one tonight.
Cards getting a little breathing room now. A 14-point lead.
I mean, this is what you want to see. This is what Louisville should have been doing the entire game, and not turning the ball over, just playing basketball, going down, getting some shots up, and getting the lead. Mike James with it.
Oh, he's able to get that up and make it. And he'll go to the line to complete the 3-point play and extend this lead to 17. How about Curtis Williams with the quick release, Jody?
It's a quick catch, or it's a quick catch and a quick release, and that's what he is known for. Again, in high school, he was such a guy. Brother Rice High School in Detroit, he was one of those stat stuffers in high school. He can do a little bit of everything. He was always a little bigger than everyone in high school, but again, 17 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, couple blocks a game. Can do a little bit of everything for Louisville. He's just Mr. Versatile.
Mike James shot 78% last season from the line. He hits that to complete the three-point play. Cards on a 16-3 run over the last 5 minutes. They lead it 32-15, and we're finally, I think, starting to see what we all expected to see tonight from this squad. And some pretty good defense there from Sky Clark, but Austin will pull the trigger on the three and miss it. And Kenny Payne's not going to like the smallest guy on the court getting an offensive rebound.
It kind of just literally bounced right. It literally bounced right to him. So very lucky that Kevin Bland was right there, but very unlucky for Caleb Glenn and Emmanuel Corford, because they're going to hear about that one. But that defense right there from Sky Clark, when he was back in high school and such a dynamic player, was ranked as one of the best players in the class. That's what you saw a little bit of him. He was very active on the defensive end, and that created a lot of his offense in high school.
Quickly got a quarter for a spot on the bench. 16 seconds on the shot clock for Simmons as they're down by 17, and the shot clock under 10 now after the air ball. Austin not afraid to shoot it, but another air ball. The Cards will look to extend it. Here we go. We saw 4 of 5 threes from James in the red-white scrimmage, and he is a much improved shooter. Shot just 36% from behind the line last season.
He looks so different. He's totally healthy. I mean, last year he played great. I thought at times still did look a little timid from the injury from the previous year. A little rusty.
Injury cost him a season.
He looks great right now.
Shot clock at 4, 3, 2. Are they going to get one off? No, they're not. Oh, he just got it off on the baseline, but it misses. Cards now up by 20 and looking to extend it here as we count down just under a minute and a half to play here in the first half. James all the way to the basket. Oh, goodness, there's another Dennis dunk, Cody.
Dennis the Menace there on the rim. He is just really going after it. And Mike James and Sky Clark giving this team energy. Sky Clark to Curtis Williams for the easy bucket. But it's James and Clark, the energy in this segment from those two guys. Mike James makes a play on one end, he drives on the other end, and then Dennis Evans gets the slam. The Cards on a 19-0 run.
And the other players on the bench all up too, cheering, waving their towels. Simmons just one field goal in the last 7+ minutes. McSwain drives and draws a foul on Caleb Glenn.
Foul on number 10, Caleb Glenn. That's his second. 17 foul. That was Simmons and bonus.
Second on Caleb Glenn, but the 7th team foul on the Cards.
Well,
they'll send Marlo McSwain to the line for 1 hour bonus.
That's the thing. They've been doing such a good job on the defensive end. That's where all this started. Yes, they've made some shots, and they didn't turn the ball over, but this was starting on the defensive end with Sky Clark and Mike James being both really, really up into their guy and aggressive. As Kenny Payne takes a quick timeout.
Now they put the K's up for strikeouts. We need somebody to put a Dennis dunk and maybe even blocks. Have maybe our friend Gerald, or the super fan, could handle that role. But I believe he's up to 3 dunks.
He's up to 3. Yes, he is.
In the first half here. You just got to lob it near the basket. Marlo McSwain, 1 and a bonus here. Again, the son of Mark McSwain. Remember Mark on that 1986 National Championship team, and a solid contributor for the Cards.
McSwain getting the free throw, ending the 19-0 run.
From Brussels, Belgium. Did play his senior season at Eastern High School here in town. And again, I'll mention, he told me, I said, your dad gonna be watching? His dad's in Brussels. He said, yeah, he'll be watching on the internet. Saw Marlo hit 1 of 2 free throws here in the KFCM Center. Caleb Glenn misses, but there's James with the offensive rebound on the finish.
I like the aggressive nature of Glenn this first half, but he's got to slow down once he gets to the basket a little bit and finish. Mike James there to help him and rebound and put that one back.
41-16. Simmons could hold it for 1, but they won't, and now the Cards will get it with 10 seconds to play in the half. James, though, is going to go all the way to the basket and has it swatted out of bounds by Trey Radcliffe. Louisville get it on the baseline with 7.2 seconds to play and a 41-16 lead.
James getting that one blocked. I would imagine this last play has something to do with Dennis. Oh, now if you're going to leave Curtis Williams wide open
for 3 and another one. That just looks so pure.
I don't think people really realize how good Curtis Williams is and is going to be for this team. Again, he's just a
jam in Canada, and he had 16 points against Kentucky, averaged 10 points, 7.3 rebounds up there, and against this competition, I think you kind of expected him to do a little more. The starting five for the Cards here in the second half: Tyler Johnson, Mike James, Brandon Huntley-Hatfield, Emmanuel Okorafor, and Trey White. Gavin Withrow with the ball up front for the Simmons College Falcons.
And Withrow has not scored. Again, the newcomer of the year in the Mideast Regional in the NCAA last year. He has not scored a point as Trey White comes away with the rebound and falling down, gets it to Huntley-Hatfield for the Cards. That's what you want to see from Huntley-Hatfield. You got to knock that shot down. A good job from Okorafor getting the offensive board, but then he turns it over, and that's not what you want to see from him.
Reclo the deflection, and here's Withrow to Radcliffe Jr.'s jumper. He banks it in. Philip Richards Jr. banks it in. They've got a couple guys, Meath Reclo and Philip Richards Jr. both got 2 fouls in that first half and sat for a good part of it. And we're already going to get a sub for Louisville's J.J. Trainer's ready to check in. Johnson gets himself airborne without anywhere to go with the ball and throws it away, trying to get it to Huntley-Hatfield. And this is pretty much the way the first half started. Another turnover as Okorafor goes to the bench. Trainer in for the Cards.
Yeah, Nolan Smith talking to Okorafor as, again, not just the turnover, but then he loses a guy on the defensive end.
Some active hands there. Franklin Sampson goes way up to deflect that one, but deflects it out of bounds. So it'll be Louisville ball, 44-18 Cards with 18:39 to play here. So they've accomplished part of what they wanted to. They're going to get the win, but I'm not sure, as we get a second straight turnover by Tyler Johnson, that they've done it in quite the fashion.
No, and not at all. Again, they've looked good in a couple of spurts, like they should, I should say. Not good, but like they should against this team. Is Tyler Johnson now 2 turnovers and a foul here to start the second half. And again, this is an exhibition, Kent, and we have yet to see what I think will be the starting lineup for Louisville on the floor together.
Those are the 5 best players.
We haven't seen the 5 best players. We've seen Trey White and Sky Clark on the floor together for about a minute and a half when there was a sub that came in when Clark missed a free throw. But that's been about it.
Withrow goes baseline and fouled by Trey White there. That'll be his first personal foul. Second team foul on the Cards here in the second half. Another slow starting half here. U of L yet to score here in the almost first 2 minutes of this second half. Reclo's 3 attempt is good. And Meath Reclo's triple, and it's 44-21.
This 5, and we have Trainer in there now for Okorafor, but this 5 has struggled more often than not. And again, it's Huntley-Hatfield that is the one that should be dominating against this team in this game, and he hasn't.
Instead, it's Meath Reclo dominating the last couple minutes as he drives in for 2, and all of a sudden Simmons is back within 21, and these guys not giving up. The Simmons Falcons have come flying out of the locker room, starting the second half on a 7-0 run. Louisville with 4 possessions, 0 for 2 for the field, and 3 turnovers in the early going. It'll be Louisville ball. J.J. Trainer, Sky Clark, Percy Miller, Dennis Evans,
and Curtis
Williams down in the corner.
Yeah, after going about 7.5 minutes with just 1 turnover, Louisville turns it over 4 times in the first 2.5 minutes, and almost another one there.
Trying to get it to Curtis Williams after his 12-point first half, but Trey Radcliffe knew that was coming and was able to break it up. Called for the foul. Louisville still looking for its first points of this second half after a 24-1 run to close out the first half. Sky Clark closely guarded by Withrow, but Clark gets in the lane and floats it up and in.
There you go. Sky, but
then
getting beat on the other end of the floor.
Radcliffe beats everybody down the court for the layup.
Too easy.
Clark, you just got to get it up on the rim, and Dennis will go and get it. Dunk number 4 for Dennis Evans.
Dennis Evans, a pretty good showing here so far. 4 for 4 tonight. 9 points and 8 rebounds for the big fella.
Sampson misses the jumper, and here's Hersey Miller pushing up for the Cards. 48-25. Sky Clark will get a look at a triple.
Clark can shoot it. We haven't really seen it so far. 0 for 2 from 3 tonight. 1 for 5 in the red-white scrimmage.
Withrow inside to Richard Jr., and he goes up and over Trainer.
Not a terrible job of defense there from Trainer, but good finish. Richard Jr.
A great pass, and then Richard Jr. comes off his man for what looked like another pretty good block. And he better be careful. Kenny Payne looking on. His team leads at 48-27 with 15:39 to play. J.J. Trainer to the line. The 6'8 senior from Bardstown, Kentucky, a 73% free throw shooter last season, and he will have 2 shots.
And I think from Trainer, what we talked about earlier, as he hits that, he's got a great stroke from the free throw line. It seems like he's improved that three-point shot. Last year, I thought, was kind of in his face a little and kind of rushed it. 23 of 70, I think he's hit last year. He's improved that this year, so I think he'll take probably fewer, better shots and make more of a percentage this year.
The 23 last year, that was after he had only hit 7 in his first 2 seasons, though. He increases the lead to 50-27. Withrow the flip to an absolutely flying Trey Ratcliffe. That was a pretty play. He is athletic. I saw a couple dunks from him the other day in practice. Sky Clark on the 3 attempt. Evans can't get it, but he drew 3 defenders, and then he comes up with it and takes the hard foul on the head.
So Trainer being active keeps it alive, and Dennis gets it. Here we see Radcliffe flying in, and the bucket for Simmons. Still Withrow with no points. 0 for 2 from the field. He expected to be their leading scorer, but he does have 4 assists.
Evans to the line for 2 free throws. He was 1 for 2 from the line in that first half. Simmons 6 for 9 from the field here in the second half, and the Cards just 2 for 6. Look at 9 points, 9 rebounds, a block, and 4 dunks for Dennis Evans in the early going as he misses both. Williams comes up with it, and then he is able to dig it out. Sky Clark says, guys, let's set this up. 15 on the shot clock. Ron Davis has not done much, Jody.
No, he's the one that's kind of struggled the entire night tonight on a lot of different things. Cron Davis had some early turnovers. 2 of the first 3 turnovers were from him. 0 for 2 and just a rebound. He is the one guy in this group here that has really struggled.
Safe to say Franklin Sampson did not think that was a foul. His 4th personal foul will get Sky Clark 2 free throws.
And the line for the Cards, number 55, Clark. He'll shoot.
Sampson getting a word from his coach as he yelled there a little, didn't think it was a foul. He played 2 years at Bethel College in Kansas. It's an NCAA school. Sky Clark makes the first one.
Sampson to the Simmons bench. Stephen Milton checks in for him. Caleb Glenn checks in for J.J. Traynor. Clark gets them both, and the Louisville lead is up to 52-29. Withrow pushing the pace. Wow, that was over Dennis Evans.
Little nifty move there from Withrow, getting it into the paint and going way up over Dennis Evans. The one thing, Ken, about Sky Clark, and I don't want to jinx it there. I thought I might jinx it as I was even thinking it, but he had the first turnover in the game. He hasn't shot the ball well tonight. That's 1 of 8. But after the first turnover in the game, no more turnovers for Sky Clark. 5 assists and just 1 turnover for the evening. Here's the Withrow bucket.
How about Gavin Withrow going right over Dennis Evans? My goodness. I think Evans was just kind of stunned he even shot it, thinking he might just stop when he saw him, but look at the arc he had to put on that to get it over. Dennis's 9-8 reach. Turnover by the Falcons, and the Cards will get it back. Not a lot of highlights so far in the second half.
No, it's not. It's been kind of sloppy like it was early in the first half. And again, this is a Louisville team that turned the ball over 12 times in the first 12 and a half minutes, 1 time in the final 6 or so minutes of the first half, and then here now in the second half, already up to 4 turnovers. Those were early on, so they've settled that down. Now just not making shots.
Cards have gone over 3 minutes without a field goal as Davis misses in the lane and Rico grabs the rebound for the Falcons. Some swinging elbows, another turnover for Simmons, and the 5th team foul on the Falcons here in the second half. The
Louisville 14.9 turnovers last season, 17 already here this evening. That is something that they're going to have to settle down.
That was the 3rd foul on Calvin Wilder, and they're actually going to look at that on the swinging elbow to Sky Clark. See if they want to elevate that to a flagrant. Hard to say. We didn't have a great look at it. It was all the way across the floor.
Ted Valentine looking at it. Interesting to have Ted Valentine in a exhibition.
Here's that replay, Jody. See what you think.
I think it was the ball, wasn't it? Yeah, they're not going to elevate it, so it must have been hitting with the ball.
The ball?
Yep, that's exactly what Ted Valentine just said. Hit him with the ball, so wasn't an elbow.
Curtis Williams, Caleb Glenn, Karan Davis, Sky Clark, and Dennis Evans on the court for the Cards. All 5 newcomers. Williams had 12 points in the first half and has not scored here in the second.
And I'm not sure. Did they call a foul there? I think he just talked to Ted Valentine, just talking with KJ Richards Jr. and Dennis Evans, telling them to kind of settle down a little bit, so no foul called.
Clark looking for the lob for Evans, but didn't have it. Glenn into the lane. Davis with 7 on the shot clock. Williams will pull the trigger.
And look, it's a good opportunity for Karan Davis. He'll learn on that one. Sky Clark was wide open on the baseline, and Dennis Evans had a 5'11" guy on it. Now you get the basket as Dennis Evans gets the block there, and the Cards out on the list.
I'm not so sure at this point, Jody. I would rather have the Curtis Williams 3. That's the shot you want. Caleb Glenn's going to try a triple, and he hits it from the corner. And finally, the crowd's starting to get into this one as Louisville has increased the lead to 58-31 with back-to-back triples.
Caleb Glenn's first bucket, again, taking the ball to the basket in the first half. He gets a 3 from the corner there to get his first basket.
With Rhoda Richards Jr. and his triple, he tries to draw the foul from Sky Clark, and he dramatically falls to the floor and does just that. And Richards Jr. will get 3 free throws out of it. But Jody, based on what I've seen tonight, as we see the Caleb Glenn 3 from the corner, the Curtis Williams open 3 is maybe your number 1 option.
It wasn't open, though, when Sky Clark was open, but it ended up being open. So, yes, again, like I said, you get that one, and I love it. I love the opportunity that Karan Davis gave to his teammate, but he had a teammate that was wide open before that, and Kenny Payne kind of telling him that now as he called him over and said, you got to watch it all.
15 points for Williams, 5 for 5 from the field, 3 for 3 from 3, and 2 for 2 from the line. So an impressive showing from Curtis Williams.
Tyler Johnson for Karan Davis. Karan Davis has really struggled. 0 for 3 in 9 minutes, 2 turnovers, 2 fouls. He does have an assist on that bucket there.
I'm impressed with that quick release Williams has.
Yeah, Williams has a really quick release.
Richards with another miss at the line. Tyler Johnson, Caleb Glenn, Dennis Evans, Sky Clark, and Curtis Williams. So, Jody, what do you think of Tyler Johnson and Sky Clark in here together as Williams almost turns it over?
This is the first time we've really seen this. Is Caleb Glenn.
Oh, my goodness. So that'll be another foul on Richards Jr. as he took a monster hit. He might feel that for days, and Caleb Glenn will go to the line and try and complete the three-point play.
I don't care who you're playing against right here for Caleb Glenn. Almost a turnover for Curtis Williams. He comes and gets it, and this is a big boy bucket going to the basket. That's a big guy there, Richards, 6'9", and Caleb Glenn going right into him, drawing the contact, getting the bucket, and getting the free throw.
The finishing that Kenny Payne has been looking for, and he gets it from the freshman, Caleb Glenn, and he completes the three-point play, 61-32 Cards. And then Tyler Johnson with another foul out front here. That's his second foul.
The freshman doing some work right now. They've scored the last 9 points for the Louisville Cardinals, including this 3 from Caleb Glenn as Louisville stretches.
He was on that 1986 national championship team, and of course teammates on that team with Cards head coach Kenny Payne.
When they needed something on that national championship team off the bench, a spark, guess who they went to? Mark McSwain, still one of the top 10 field goal percentage shooters for his career, 56.3%.
And he will love to hear that tonight in Brussels as he's watching us. Get a look at Kenny Payne. He sees his team up 61-32, but plenty to work on.
Yeah, a lot to work on for Louisville. Again, they have cut the turnovers down. 4 in the first 2 minutes of this half. They don't have one since then.
Only 17 in the game right now after 12 in the first 12 minutes.
I was going to say, 12 in the first 12 minutes,
Shot
4 in the first 4.
Woodrow's going to have to get it up, and he's got Huntley Hatfield on him. He does. Did he get it? I guess he did get the shot off, and then he did hit the rim, so they'll maintain possession. Another miss and another offensive rebound for the Falcons, and we'll get a foul on Trey White as Brandon Austin grabbed it. Another offensive rebound for Simmons.
Again, Huntley Hatfield's group struggling. Huntley Hatfield, when he's out there, as looks like Trey White has a cramp. He's going to come out.
Sky Clark with a cramp.
Sky Clark with a cramp.
We'll get it.
Yeah, he's going to go down and stretch that leg out.
Trey White with a defensive rebound. Tyler Johnson, Trey White, Mike James, Brandon Huntley Hatfield, and Caleb Glenn, who has exploded over the last couple of minutes, hit the triple from the corner, and then the drive and old-fashioned three-point play. Huntley Hatfield just doesn't seem to affect the game much, and they need him to, Jody.
Yeah, he is going to be, as you see Trey White with a little fadeaway there. He's got to. Huntley Hatfield is the guy that has got to do something for this team as Trey White, he slams that one off the backboard. just a little late on getting up on that one. We see the bucket here for Trey White, who now has 12.
A 6'7" guy who can get his own shot late in the shot. This is something they didn't have last year.
He is definitely something they did not have.
I mean, last year at the end of a shot clock, it was all LLs, right?
It was.
Johnson gets in the lane. He'll swing it to James. Back to Johnson in the corner for three. Got it.
Good ball movement there. Caleb Glenn didn't force a shot. Mike James didn't force a shot. Tyler Johnson found him an opening and went and got it.
Withrow, another floater down the lane. No Dennis Evans to get it over this time. They are cutting with a purpose, though. They're not just cutting to cut. That was a pretty good offensive set for the Cards. We'll see if they can make it 2 in a row.
Maybe not what he was looking for, but
there was nobody there.
There was nobody there, and he had to take the shot.
Withrow and Johnson, a nice little back-to-back here as Austin misses and Johnson with the rebound, and he's going to push it up. You got Huntley Hatfield posting up in the lane, but White all the way misses, and I almost looked like that might have gone off Huntley Hatfield, but it'll stay down at this end.
And that was White's first miss of the night. As Huntley Hatfield coming out, and Trainer coming in, and you mentioned it, Huntley Hatfield just not a lot affecting the game. He's got 5 rebounds, but he's just 0 for 2 from the field. Trainer
right away with the turnaround jump hook. And it's 70-36 Cards. Tyler Johnson, we saw that 3 from the corner. I was talking with Milt Wagner today at practice, and he said he can shoot it. And if Milt says he can shoot it, he can shoot it.
He can shoot it.
Gavin Withrow has showed us some things tonight. He can't get that one over. Trainer got a piece of it. But James in the corner for another 3.
And right now, Tyler Johnson in the last 3.5 minutes doing what he needs to do to be a guy that's going to help this team as a true freshman, and that is distribute the ball, taking his time, getting the ball in the right hands, in the right position, in the right situations.
Mike James letting the offense come to him. He has 11 points, 2 for 2 from
on in both halves is not what Kenny Payne wanted to see.
A 46-16 edge on the boards, and the Cards with 22 second chance points so far tonight. Simmons with only 3. Tyler Johnson, Trey White, Emmanuel Okorafor in the game now for the Cards. Mike James and J.J. Trainers, they just absolutely lose. Marlo McSwain, and there you go, Mark, your son with his basket here in the KOCM Center.
Yeah, Trainer trying to recover, but again, Okorafor making a mistake on the defensive end on the switch.
James with a little work in the post, and he'll go to the line for 2 free throws on the foul there by Steve Melton.
Yeah, I mean, he just looks, and he told us yesterday, he said, look, this time last year, he was playing early in the year, but there was so much rust. He still wasn't 100% healthy. Achilles injury that he missed the entire previous season. This is finally where Mike James is 100% healthy and is doing what he is supposed to do out there, and he looks really good at it. His shot right now is as smooth as we've seen for a Louisville player here. Kent, he is really good from three-point range.
And, you know, before he got hurt, they expected him to be a contributor on that team a couple of years ago.
Yes.
I know he looked really good in practice early on before he tore his Achilles as he hits both free throws. He's got 14 points now here tonight. 1 off the team lead, 15. Curtis Williams, the high scorer for the Cards. 12 of those 15 came in the first half as Okorafor goes back to the bench. Huntley Hatfield in.
And again, Okorafor and Huntley Hatfield, the 2 guys that are, I would say, struggling the most for this team tonight. Huntley Hatfield has got to do something to help this team right here in this segment, because he's had a bad night so far.
Courts forced the turnover with the press. Maybe Kenny can press a little more this year with a little more depth that he trusts.
Oh, definitely. There's no question. They're going to do things that they did this year that they couldn't last year.
Nice passing, and you get James the three and just misses it, but a good look. And Trainer with the offensive rebound of the basket. We have an injured Falcon right under the basket. We'll check on him. That is DeAndre Williams. He might have gotten hit in the face. It's hard to see.
No, I think it's his elbow or his arm. I think he came down.
Jody, and taking him back to look at him, see if he's all right.
Yeah, it came down pretty hard on his elbow there. Trainer with the bucket as Louisville extended this lead to 77-38. J.J. Trainer now with 8 points and 6 rebounds.
Cards were able to force a turnover the last time with this pressure. Simmons gets it up court this time.
We'll definitely see more pressure from Louisville. Kenny Payne's obviously a deeper team, a team that is able to do this a little more than what they were able to do last season.
Right down the lane, Calvin Wilder fouled by Mike James. First foul on Mike James, with the 7th team foul on the Cards. Wilder will get 2 shots here with 7:42 to play. Louisville 7 of 15 from 3 so far tonight. And again, the Cards with a 47-16 rebounding edge. But Jody, you should expect that. And I think maybe the most impressive stat on here is they only have 17 turnovers when they started with 12 in the first 12 minutes.
Well, they started 12 in the first 12 minutes of the game, 4 in the first 3 minutes of the second half. You would think, oh my gosh, what is happening here? They've done a good job of settling in both halves. And in this one, in this half, this has been a good half for Tyler Johnson so far. 7 points and an assist in this one. He does have 1 turnover in this half.
But we've also seen him get in the lane and find some guys. Nice save by James on the baseline. 10 on the shot clock as Johnson tries to drive on Withrow, and the ball's knocked away. Withrow with the steal. Trainer's back, and Trainer gets the block on Melton. Withrow back down the lane. Another one of those running shots off the backboard.
Coach Tony Branch told me they call him Roadrunner, and I said, why? And he goes, beep, beep, he's coming at you just like the Roadrunner, and he does. He's kind of that relentless little guy out there because he's only about 5'10", but he really is so fast.
He's been impressive.
He has been.
White with another turnover as he just loses his dribble in the lane. James with the block. Here comes Johnson. He's got Huntley Hatfield back on McSwain, and there we go. A little step through, and Huntley Hatfield able to get a basket. Just his 2nd of the night. His first field goal of the night.
We're going to get Sky Clark and Curtis Williams back in here in a couple of the next dead ball for Louisville.
4 points for Huntley Hatfield, 2 free throws, and that 1 field goal, and then
number 12, J.J. Trainer, that's his second 18 foul.
Here's the replay.
Look at Gavin Withrow, Jody. Just floats it up. He'd had a shot blocked by Trainer, but he's scored over Trainer and Evans. Pretty impressive for the little guy. Brandon Austin to the line. He'll have 1 and a bonus. 6:17 to go. Cards up 79-41. In a game coming in, you knew they'd win, and you'd hope they'd do it impressively. And
there's been stretches.
Maybe as impressive as you'd hope to.
No, there's definitely been stretches where the eye test has been pretty good, but then there has been 2 stretches where it's been pretty bad. So it's like I think you want to see more out of these guys.
Another turnover. Curtis Williams stepped on the sideline there. You wonder if, I'm not sure if you want to get in Kenny Payne's head, what he's trying to think of, why we haven't seen maybe what we think would be the 5 best players together. First of all, this is a very early exhibition game, October 18th, maybe the earliest they've ever had it. And they'll get 12 days now to get ready for that second one, and then 2.5 weeks before the start of the season.
And that, to me, will be the most interesting thing that we will see or hear after this game is why Curtis Williams and Trey White have not been on the floor together. Sky Clark and Trey White have been on the floor together for all of about a minute and a half. Now Dennis Evans is getting ready to come back in right here, so he's going to be out there. It's interesting to me why and how they've kept these rotations like they have. I'm sure there's a point for it, and this is the rotations we saw in practice.
Dennis Evans checks in. Brandon Huntley Hatfield to the bench. Huntley Hatfield tonight with 4 points and 5 rebounds in 15 minutes of action. Calvin Wilder knocks in the free throw at 79-43. Sky Clark, J.J. Traynor, Dennis Evans, Curtis Williams, and Mike James on the court for the Cards. Traynor trying to post up McSwain, and McSwain with the deflection and the foul, and that'll get Traynor at least one free throw.
So just when we came back from that break saying that, hey, the turnovers have been better, it's now 3 in a row for Louisville. So they've come in bunches. 12 in the first 12 minutes of the first half, and then 4 in the first 3.5 minutes of the second half, and now 3 here in about a minute and 45 seconds.
Traynor rattles that one home. He's now 3 for 3 from the line. JJ now into double figures with 10 points to go with his 6 rebounds and 3 blocks. Number 23, Aquino checks in, his first action of the night for the Falcons. McSwain to throw it in against this Cards pressure into Aquino, guarded by James. McSwain turns it over in the backcourt. 10-second violation.
I think the one takeaway from tonight for Louisville, if you're a Louisville fan and you're watching, is the fact that you knew the transfers, and we're going to see more of Sky Clark and Trey White, and when they're together and all that, you knew that. You had heard about the freshmen, but I think so far tonight, the 4 freshmen have all looked pretty good in different stages. I mean, I like what I've seen from all of them.
They've all had their moments. As Clark falls on the ground, and how about that hustle by Kevin Bland to tie it up? It'll be Cards ball.
I think he was fouled and walked as we see the impact transfers from the Cards. And again, Sky Clark from Illinois, 7 points in 13 games. And then Trey White, he just had a fantastic season last year at USC as a freshman.
Again, Jovanovic out in concussion protocol, so we did not get a look at him tonight. Only played 1 game last year for that Final Four Miami squad.
Get a 30-second timeout here from Tony Branch.
It's a game that'll never end. Cards 81-43, 5:09 to play. Virginia.
Louisville.
When he was at Florida State. You see all the transfers from Louisville. And there's Sky Clark with the 3. Cards with a nice baseline out of bounds play to get Sky Clark an open 3, and he drains it. His first triple in 5 tries tonight. Bland driving on Clark, and oh good, more free throws.
Just what we wanted. Let's look at, we threw that graphic up there for a second. We'll look at it again as the guys that Louisville lost to the portal. Ellis to Arkansas, Jalen Withers to North Carolina, Kamari Lands to Arizona State, Sidney Curry to Grand Canyon, Fabio Basili, Roosevelt Wheeler, Devin Ree, and Ashton Miles DeVore. Louisville, and we'll get to see Jalen Withers on January the 17th when Louisville is at North Carolina. Dennis Evans coming out, getting some words from Kenny Payne. I do like what I've seen from Dennis Evans tonight.
think if you pick out some individuals, I mean, Tyler Johnson, obviously Curtis Williams, Caleb Glenn showed us some flashes, Dennis Evans. Yeah, if they can just put it all together. We've seen kind of flashes from most of them. We haven't seen a lot from Okorafor yet, but he gets the offensive rebound and then misses in the lane. I expected, gets the goaltend, I expected him to show us a little more tonight, but maybe it'll come.
Yeah, I did. I expect
Okay,
more
this is
from
his
him.
6th game as a Card, so he's...
Looks like Evans maybe got hit in the mouth, or they're looking at him as maybe going into the locker room to get his mouth looked at a little bit. I thought he was kind of holding his mouth when he came out.
Out of bounds.
Turnover there. Turnover number 20 in UConn or Indiana in that stretch, but games that they should be able to win early on and get some confidence. It's all about confidence with this group.
38 fouls, 34 turnovers so far. Okorafor with a shot to get a basket there, but unable to finish that lob. So again, 38 fouls and 34 turnovers. 6 on the shot clock. That ball, I think it reset to 20 on the lob when it did not hit.
26, they said he
okay,
did.
so
Yeah, said it did hit the rim. I mean, there's going to be things when you really look back at this one
At
for
some
Kenny
point,
Payne.
you can go to a running clock maybe in an exhibition.
Maybe. You would think. There's going to be some things that Kenny Payne does like, and there's going to be a lot of things that he doesn't like.
There we go.
And again, Curtis Williams making a play. The freshman drawing the defender, dishing to Okorafor for a dunk.
First field goal of the night for the big fella. He's got 4 rebounds, but the 1 dunk now as he gets his name in the scorebook. Bland's 3 misses. Okorafor gives up the offensive rebound.
And James now with 13 points and 7 boards. We're going to get Aiden McCool in the game.
Turnover by Glenn. Aquino with the pull-up 15-foot jumper. 6'1" freshman from Puerto Rico.
He's enjoying that one.
Scott Clark, Curtis Williams, Caleb Glenn, Emmanuel Okorafor, and Mike James on the court for the Cards. Clark tries to wrap it around to Okorafor, but it's knocked away, and here comes Aquino. The nice dish to Bland. Oh, goodness.
Let's watch the dunk here from earlier as Curtis Williams gets his 3rd assist of the night. Is again using it.
Nice pick and roll.
Using it.
Nice pocket pass. Okorafor with the catch. It's a great pass, a great catch, and then the finish with no one else in the lane.
All right, so Louisville's going to look like they're going to end this game with Huntley Hatfield, Caleb Glenn, Curtis Williams, Hersey Miller, and Aiden McCool, the walk-on, getting a couple minutes here in the exhibition.
6'3" senior from Charleston, South Carolina. Played his first 2 years at Maryland, where, of course, Danny Manning was on the staff for the Terps. That 2nd season as the Maryland interim head coach for most of that year. At this point, the goal's got to be to get Aiden McCool a shot, right?
If anybody's going to do it, Curtis is going to get himself a shot.
Oh, we missed. He shouldn't have shot it. It was perfect.
Curtis Williams was perfect of the night. Now 5 of 6, 2 of 2 from the line.
Oh, Hersey with a nice jumper. You know, I think when people look at this score, it's going to be maybe about what they thought it'd be. But what are your impressions? What have you seen from this Louisville team?
Again, I think obviously it's a lot. It's easy to tell. There's more talent on this Louisville roster than what they had last year. The transfers are going to be impact guys, and the freshmen are all going to be guys, as we see Caleb Glenn take it to the rack right there, are all going to be guys that can help this team in certain situations, maybe some more than others. Kent, I just think it's still a work in progress. How they can play together. How does this team mesh and gel together? And again, we don't see that tonight because we didn't see their best players.
Which 5 players do you think? Who do you think are the 5 best players?
I think it's Sky Clark, Mike James, Trey White, Brandon Huntley Hatfield, and J.J. Traynor. To me, that's the 5. Now, what I've seen tonight, Dennis Evans and Curtis Williams. Brandon Huntley Hatfield hasn't looked good tonight. That was coming into the game what I thought. Coming out of the game, I would put Curtis Williams or Dennis Evans in there for Huntley Hatfield.
Caleb Glenn another free throw, and it's 89-48 Cards, under a minute to play. In exhibition number 1, and it's looked like it for the Cards. Actually, it's the second exhibition for Simmons, right, Jody? As Caleb Glenn gets the steal and the finish at the other end. Simmons just played the Indiana Swarm over the weekend.
They played the Indiana Swarm over the weekend in an exhibition for them, so their second one.
91-48 Cards. Four U of L players in double figures. Trey White only with 2 points in the second half after that impressive 10-point first half. Cards will run down the clock, and Kenny Payne will go shake Tody Branch's hand. 91-50 will be your final as U of L gets year 2 of the Kenny Payne era off to a good start with a 41-point win over the Simmons Falcons. Cards' leading scorer tonight ended up being Curtis Williams. He missed that late shot. He was 5 of 6 from the field, 3 of 4 from three-point land. Mike James with 13 points, Trey White with 12, and J.J. Traynor with 10 points and 6 rebounds for the Cards.
And again, some things to like, a lot of things to work on. It's the first exhibition of the year, and it's really early, as we mentioned. It's October 18th. They've now got 12 days until Kentucky Wesleyan. I want to see a big jump from this Louisville team between now and then.
91-50.
चल के बाद